with listening to you of the show, and it just sickens me and it's heart-wrenching that these police officers didn't go in. It's a very similar situation, what happened in Parkland, where the deputies didn't go in. And it should just reiterate to everyone out there in this country how important our Second Amendment rights are. Like, I think of it all the time, how my daughter was a victim and she had no one coming to help her. They called the police, nobody came. She was on that floor for 40 minutes, shot 9 times. So how it really affects me, that she was a victim, and no one should have to be a victim. And it just shows you there's situations in this country and in time that you can't rely on the police to come and help you. That's why, to me, it's so important, my Second Amendment, because I think of my daughter, how she was a victim and waiting for police. These students were in that classroom waiting for the police and no one came. So it's very important, the Second Amendment, and this situation reiterates it.
Let's talk about 2 aspects of the shooting that led to the loss of your beautiful daughter, Meadow. You have very kindly just this week sent me, for my family, for my wife, for my children, ballistic panels. I think you've got some there with you that we can use to protect ourselves from shooters, from active shooters. But it's not just protecting ourselves or our children having that in their backpacks or what have you. It's also what happens before the event. Will you explain? Because none of these killers come out of the blue. There's always signals. When it came to the Parkland murderer, the system failed to prevent the attack even before he got that gun, correct?
Sure. The biggest failure in this country is, I could give you 2 instances that I know of. Parkland, the shooter threatened to shoot the school up. He threatened to rape kids. He committed multiple crimes. He wanted to kill himself, was brought to the hospital. What happens, and the same thing in Buffalo with that shooter at the supermarket. He threatened to shoot that school up when he was in high school, was brought to the hospital and put through a system. Okay, what happens is they get dropped at the hospital. They're seen for a day. They're evaluated, and then they're let back into society without any record on their background. Yeah. And that's the problem in this country. The gun laws are in place, okay? But society's failing us because these mentally ill, evil people get brought to the hospital, they get reported, and it doesn't go on their background. So everyone that's spewing background checks, universal background checks, it only works if you give these people background that threaten to kill people. And that would be the biggest fix-all in the country.
I want people to read the book you wrote, Why Meadow Died. I want people to go to the website we discussed in the break. That's securemyschoolnow.com. That's securemyschoolnow.com. But in the last minute we have with you, Mr. Pollack, what is the first thing? If this administration really cared, or if the local governors, the sheriff's departments, the mayors really cared about the safety of our children, what is the first thing they could easily do to secure them?
The first thing I would say is you need a police officer in every school, or a guardian, 1 per every 500. You also need to give the teachers who want to volunteer the opportunity to go through intense training to be able to carry on campus. And then the biggest thing that I tell everybody is parents need to get involved locally in your local school district with your local school boards, because they're the people that control the budget, and you need the people in there that take security at the utmost top of the tier, to protect our children, and it's not being done.
Yeah, somebody, a real journalist out there, needs to just do the math, add up all the millions of dollars spent on critical race theory, on transgender programs across America in our schools, and then work out how many security guards that could have paid for to protect our children. The book is, you've got to get it, Why Meadow Died, and the website is securemyschoolnow.com.